Hi, welcome to the Sifu Mimi Chan Show. Thanks for joining the conversation. Hello, Kelly Sue. So good to see you.
Hello, Sifu Mimi. How are you?
Just Mimi. I'm good. I miss you, as I said a little earlier before we were rolling, and I can't believe it's been so long since I've actually gotten to actually see you face to face and talk to you. It just
No,
feels like for a while there we were like in constant communication.
I know. It was so nice. Yeah.
And you were just at Rose City, and I was not.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
was
I
it?
wasn't there for I only went for I guess 2 day. I was there for retailer day and then I was there on Saturday. But I didn't do anything at all on Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
which is sort of unusual for me, but I'm swamped and the kids have just gone back to school. It's Henry's senior year. He turned
Ooh.
18 on Tuesday.
Oh man.
Yes. And then my dad's birthday was Wednesday, and so it's
Okay.
just been like a lot.
I bet. And how's Tallulah, our goddess?
Yes, she's doing well. She's been cast in the high school production of the musical Six.
Oh,
So she's
amazing.
playing Anne Boleyn. So we are in rehearsal uh, mode,
Yes,
I guess.
yes, I hear you.
It opens in October, so
Okay. So about
like
there are three
early
weeks
early
from
to
when we're
mid
recording.
October, I
Yeah.
think.
Okay. So it's they still got some rehearsals to go, so that's good.
Indeed, indeed.
They got
Luckily,
things.
it's not a jukebox musical, but it's not a I don't know what to call it. It's not a
Mhm.
conventional musical either.
No,
It's
yeah,
almost a
it's a lot of
review.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that one's a lot of fun. So I
So
always think it's amazing like that some of these high schools, the ones that still promote arts
yeah,
and culture and whatnot.
the
I'm in
ones that are
Florida,
still
so
allowed to teach,
yeah, the ones
you
that still
know.
allowed to teach. But we'll quickly spiral here if we go down that. But I love
Yeah.
that I'm always curious what they're going to choose because there's so many classics, but there's so much like contemporary shows and things like
Yeah.
that in terms of like kind of Broadway theater and musicals and things like that. But oh, of course, I'm sure she'll be fabulous.
Yeah. I think the spring musical will be The Addams Family,
Oh, okay.
which I've not seen.
I
So
haven't seen that one either. No.
yeah.
But I have been watching Wednesday.
There you go. Yeah.
So, I mean, same thing, right?
Yeah.
It's a cello and yeah,
Yeah.
so lots of fun. But oh well, I and of course Matt's very busy as well. I haven't caught up
Yeah.
with him in a while. Normally I've got you guys scheduled around the same time. I haven't even been able to touch base because your lovely Denise got us set up from like 2 months ago, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, it's already September. Here we go.
Yeah. No, he's been
Oh,
deep in Batman.
Batman.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's kind of funny because he's been working on it for a long time now. I think he's
Mhm.
he's very ahead, which is a thing that I can never say. But he's he's like I don't know how many issues he has in the can, but he's way ahead.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he's been working on it for a while now without being
Yeah.
able to talk about it. And so it's been like this week, it sort of all became real, you know?
Mhm.
So that's been nice. And
Yeah.
he was able to do some cross pollination with he's a big lover and supporter of the Hollywood theater here in
Mhm.
Portland, and so he did a Batman variant cover for the Hollywood as a fundraiser for their 100th anniversary.
Oh, wow.
So they're going to be doing some improvements on the building that are a bit overdue for the
Mhm.
100th anniversary, and he got to find a way to help contribute to that by doing the Batman Hollywood variant. And Steve Lieber drew the cover, so the Hollywood Theater marquee is got Batman on it on the cover, which is pretty
Very cool.
cool.
That is
Um,
very cool.
yeah,
But yeah, you all are great about all of like always finding time to contribute to the causes. And it's like, I know your schedule is completely insane, but then, I always see these charitable things and all these stuff pop up. And it's hard. It's hard to say no to things, but that, especially if you're passionate. But I know
yeah,
at some point it's got to be like, okay, wait, I've got deadlines and I've got other things I have to do. But it's hard because you guys always say yes. And so people probably keep asking you.
yeah. Well, and you want to like,
Yes, of course.
we want the Hollywood to be around and be
Hmm.
safe and vibrant and everything else. So
Yeah. I haven't gotten to catch up with Greg since he's been in LA, but the last time or a couple times ago I talked to him, he's like, just went to the movies with Kelly Sue and the
yeah.
gang. And I was like, oh, I miss Portland.
Oh,
I miss you
was that when we
guys.
went to see Ballerina?
Yes, yes, you went to see
Yes.
Ballerina.
Oh, I liked that so much more than he did.
Yeah, he's like, well, there was a lot of shooting and like, yeah.
Yeah, I
But you
loved it.
enjoyed it. Oh, you loved it.
I
Okay.
loved it. Yeah. But I mean, I like, the John Wick. We also disagree on the John Wick movies.
Oh,
Um,
okay, okay.
uh, and I can't remember
I'm
where,
pretty sure him and I align a bit because like we both really enjoyed the first one, and then to me it just kept getting less enjoyable. And
yeah.
by
So
sure, number three, like I know he didn't like that one at
I
all.
didn't like, so
Yeah.
I like, and I mean, I'm qualifying this because quite frankly, I like them all.
Right,
Like,
right, right.
in that I'm good. Like it's like pizza. Like I'm gonna eat it. You know. Like, um, but I absolutely love 1 and 4. I don't care for 2 and 3,
Okay.
and I don't think he liked 4, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
and I did not like four either.
Oh, I loved 4.
I
But
just thought it got so extra. That's the one where they were like could block bullets at that point, right? They had the special like forearm gear or something.
yeah, I thought there was just so much. First of all, I was it Donnie Yen, the stuff with the two of them. I was just like, well, this is just amazing and perfect. And he has like the grace of a Fred Astaire.
Okay. I think
His
that's, the martial arts part of
yeah,
it, right? Like you and I were talking off air. You're like, let's just talk about kung fu.
yeah. But there's also
But yeah.
the way that character plays with portrayals of masculinity was
Okay.
really interesting to
See,
me.
this fascinates me because you're seeing something completely different. I'm just so face value of like, did he have to be blind? Because he's blind in this one too, right? Or like just like
Yeah,
Rogue One. I'm just like, did he have to be blind? Like this becomes like to me just so out there, and I get a little grumpy about action stuff these days. I think maybe because I was so all about the action 80s and 90s, and then now I'm just like I really want a really good drama or a really good comedy,
right.
and I think maybe it has to be so exceptional in my mind. And again, it's all subjective. Everybody has their own opinion, and I love that we're talking about this, but I'd love for you to expand on this whole like how he the
Well,
masculinity.
I should contextualize, right, that
Yeah.
I haven't seen, I'm not a Star Wars person,
Right, right, right.
so I don't know him
In
in
Rogue
Rogue.
One, like yeah. I felt like he was the same character except in a suit versus in his Rogue One outfit.
So I thought that
And fans are gonna be
the
mad at me right now. I can just feel it.
I thought the kind of graceful, thoughtful, contained power, like I just kept thinking about him like a dancer,
Okay.
and the way that, like, the white turtleneck, right? It's not, when you're dressing a physically aggressive, violent character, you don't think white turtleneck, right?
Mm,
Like you don't, like, that is
okay.
not a like hyper masculine, right? That's
The museum curator.
right, right?
Yeah.
And and it's
Okay.
the choice of white is like a 60s nod. And
Mm.
it was such the John Wick films are not about nuance, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
love that about them. And I actually, the thing that bummed me out about two and three was I felt
Mm-hmm.
like they sort of overcomplicated things and started
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
explaining things I didn't want explained.
Yes,
Um,
yes, yes.
like I know they were trying to grow the world, but it was starting to feel like a Wikipedia entry. And
Yes. And I
and I
know
was
Greg hates that too. Yeah, like
I
don't
do.
explain it to me. Just
Just drop me in it. I don't need to like I can, like don't give me the fucking Wikipedia entry. And it's just like
Yes.
it's the same way I hated Skyfall
Mm, okay.
because I knew everything I needed to know about James Bond. I have complicated feelings about James Bond. That is a whole other podcast.
Oh wow. Okay, I'm gonna
But
put this on the back burner here. James
there you
Bond
go.
with KSD.
But Skyfall fucking infuriated me because we had an origin story already
Mm-hmm.
for Bond that was in Casino Royale that was just, and it was and there was a little bit of a feminist angle to it, right? Like Vesper is Bond and Vesper has to die for Bond to become Bond.
Yes, yes.
And like even though we don't like to kill a female character for it was like it's his franchise and you see him a friend pointed out to me that Daniel Craig actually comes out of the water in the swimsuit like a Bond girl. He's the
Yes,
Bond girl
yes.
in that movie,
Yes, yes.
until Vesper dies and then he becomes Bond. And that's that's all the origin story I wanted, right? I didn't
Mm.
want to know. It made him so when they actually in Skyfall they turn him into Batman. And
Yeah, I
to
can see that.
me, that made him smaller and less interesting.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
it just made me angry. I hated it. I felt like they explained too much, like you ruined it. And that was what was starting to happen for me with John Wick. And sometimes with John Wick, there are those moments where the action is so much it feels like you're just looking over someone's shoulder, watching them play a video game. I get
Right,
that.
right, right, right. Yeah.
But they usually have enough of a sense of humor about it
Yeah, yeah, the
that
genre. It's the genre. We accept that. Yeah.
yeah, that I
But
can still enjoy it.
it's usually done well.
And he has Keanu is such a good physical actor that even though he should not be able to survive any of these things,
Right.
um, he still seems to feel them.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
And
yes.
so it gives it stakes and weight when I
Mm-hmm.
think another actor may not have been able to pull that off, and it would feel more like we were watching over someone's shoulder as they were playing a video game.
Yeah, yeah. I
So,
can
and
see
then,
that.
and just the Donnie Yen character and the fact that they had the courage to, spoilers, you guys, um, to let Wick die too I really appreciated that because I can't imagine a studio letting that happen when there's still
Mm. Money to be made.
money in them, their hills, you
Yes,
know?
yes, yes,
And so
yes.
the fact that they had the courage to do that just delighted me as well. And then with
But then we get ballerina.
and then with
The
Ballerina,
world.
there's a little bit more of the world than what I wanted, but we so seldom see female-led action movies that don't suck that I was very delighted by the fact that she was not overly complicated, that she was lethal, that they brought John Wick in, which was clearly a studio note. Um,
I
you
love
know,
that you writers who have done all the things like no, like studio note, studio
no,
note.
they were clearly they were like, we need more John Wick in this. We need to make sure people are going to go see it. We need Keanu to have a part,
Right, right.
and so Keanu shows up and has a part, but he doesn't really rescue her,
Mm-hmm.
which I liked.
Okay.
And then I loved it was corny as shit, but I don't care. I loved the fight like a girl stuff.
Okay.
And also, my favorite thing was the way she would go back and collect all the weapons.
Okay.
So that was such a nice, like, oh, you don't see that. You see the guy who's like, I'll use everything. What I don't need to have anything. I can make anything around me a weapon or whatever. And she's like, no, that is a good knife. I'm gonna use that knife again. So
Very
now
practical.
everybody's dead. I'm
Very
going back and
sensible.
I'm getting all the fucking knives. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
I loved that. And I loved that she had, I mean, someday we'll get to see a female action hero that has a little bit of a twinkle in her eye, but this was at least a little closer in that direction. Usually they're just so there's no you don't get to have fun with them the way that you can have fun with like a Bond character. Like
Mhm.
John Wick is not a funny guy, but like a there can be a twinkle with a Bond character, less so more recently as the movies have gotten grittier and grittier.
Yeah,
But,
darker. I love this. I feel like I want the Kelly Sue's reviews before I go to see any films now. Like, tell me your thoughts. Is it worth it?
yeah, yeah. I mean,
This
and
is great.
and like
And I love the vision of you guys like going to the theater together. Like, I was like, yeah,
yeah,
we went to the movies.
to see things through our own lenses, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
it's that like I've had the opposite experience where Matt and Greg and I went to go see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
Oh, okay, yeah.
and I was incandescently angry and hated that movie. And I don't think either one of them particularly liked it, but I don't think they were like
As disgusted
like,
as you were, clearly.
yeah. And it's funny because I'm not like a Tarantino hater. I you know
Hmm,
I
hmm.
I I love Inglorious Bastards.
Yeah,
Like
that might be
uh,
my favorite one, I think.
but there was just Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was just like it just felt like remember when dudes were awesome, you know?
Yeah, and then everything just had to fit together with the like the historical, like the way
Yeah.
they like
Oh,
pieced
and,
it
and
together.
and the Bruce Lee stuff, it was like, oh, go fuck yourself. Like,
Yeah, Shannon Lee was not happy.
yeah, no, she was right. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I always think, man, if people are gonna make a movie this long, it's really got to deliver because our attention spans. Like even me, I like movies and things, but like if it's gonna be over the 2 hour mark or something like that, I'm like they better be delivering because it's like
yeah.
why the extra 20 minutes?
And I thought that DiCaprio put in a really lovely performance.
I think he almost always does,
Yeah.
personally. Yeah.
And I would have much preferred to watch the movie about that character
Mm,
as an actor's journey.
right. Versus
But I
trying
mean,
to fit
somebody
it into
somebody
this
else would have had to have
narrative.
made that film,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, of course, of course.
but
Oh my gosh.
yeah, no, I was like spitting, shaking,
I,
mad.
I can see
Uh,
this. I mean, it's been a while. I don't even know what year that came out, but you're still quite offended by this
yeah.
film.
And then
Well,
there's also, did you see Salt?
yes, I think so.
I was so excited for Salt, and we
Yeah,
went.
but I
I don't
don't
think Greg
remember
was at
loving
that
it.
one. I think that
Yeah.
was us and the Bendises,
Okay.
and I was very, very excited about it. And I hated it. And it's another one that was. There was a really interesting lesson for me in that one because I like everyone who was involved in that movie. Like the
Okay.
cast is terrific, the filmmakers are terrific. Like it was just like
But it
people
didn't connect, right?
people
Because I
that
don't
knew,
remember loving it or thinking,
yeah,
yeah.
people you can respect and admire with the
Mhm.
best of intentions. You get that much money involved in making a thing, and it can come out garbage,
Mhm.
And like Andre, there's a different, better cut of that movie somewhere
Right.
because Andre Brower has like two lines. He's an almost nothing character
Okay.
in it, and you don't cast Andre Brower for two lines. So
Okay. So you're like, lots got chopped in
there's
the
a
editing room.
whole other with Fantastic Four, what's her name? Poker Face, Natasha Lyonne.
Yeah. Yeah.
Natasha Lyonne it had such a tiny, tiny role
Mm,
as Ben's rabbi, and you're like, oh,
a cut.
there's a whole thing with Ben and his
Yeah.
rabbi that did not make the final cut because you don't cast Natasha Lyonne for that tiny a role,
Right. Right.
which I enjoyed that movie as well.
I didn't
But
see
you know
that
that
one. Yeah, I didn't see it yet. I am very behind on my movie watching, but I feel like it's it's becoming a lost practice,
yeah.
going to the I did go see Superman in the theater, so
Yay!
of
My
course.
daughter, who doesn't like to go to the theater and has to wear ear coverings because it's too
It's
much
too
for
much.
her,
Yeah.
went to go see Superman in the theater 3 or 4 times. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
So
It just felt so good.
that was really neat. It was,
It's like what you needed at the moment, I'm like my blankie.
yeah, no, it really did. It like in this particular moment, it was nice
Yes.
to see heroes be heroes.
Mhm. Mhm. And in the right way, all the things that you kind of complained about with a lot of these other films, like over explaining to the audience and giving you too much, it's Superman. You don't need to give us like 1,000 pages of backstory because I think everybody gets it, and but it was enough. And oh yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed it. And
Yeah, I told Matt this, I think, and it was I had this thought, and it's a little bit jarring, but I think in my mind, in the like on the bookshelf in my brain or the DVD shelf in my brain,
okay.
um, James Gunn is actually on the same shelf with like a Wes Anderson, which
Oh,
is an
okay.
odd thing to say, except that I think what I'm using as the categorizer there is that categorizer, I don't know if that's a
Yeah.
word, but it is
All
now,
good. It is now.
um, is that they both have such a distinct style
Mhm.
that they're at risk of the style overwhelming the substance. And sometimes that does happen, and it can get in the way of having an emotional connection to the story.
Mm.
But Anderson's style is so visual, right? But there are other things as well, but it's mostly defined by like that symmetry and those controlled palettes and that
Yeah, it's super recognizable almost immediately. Almost
yeah, the
immediately.
very formal dialogue and and then Guns is defined by this love and appreciation for pop culture and particularly comics. And so Gunn is one of the few people who knows how to make a movie that doesn't apologize for being comic movie.
Mm.
And I think he's able to strike the tone very effectively, and it's much harder to do than he makes it look. And when he does it well, you get something like Superman or the first Guardians of the Galaxy,
Mhm.
which during that movie, first Guardians, I remember turning to Matt during the movie and being like, this shouldn't work. I don't know how this should not be working. Why is this working? It was really interesting to me that
Yeah.
he pulled it off, and Peacemaker like
Mhm.
doesn't apologize for being what it is. It's of a particular place, of a particular, like an of a particular love, and it never tries to hide it.
Mhm.
And by being willing to go all in, he manages to sort of transcend our expectations for same, which is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I think that I agree with all the things you're saying, and it's so interesting to kind of hear you dissect it and kind of break it down because as a writer yourself, like you guys look at story and everything, not just from a technical aspect, but I feel like you're able to see like so many layers deep that maybe, us on first view don't see immediately or, just relate to. But yeah, I really loved the Superman. I love most of the Wes Anderson stuff, but it's very hit or miss for me. And like you said, it's just like Moonrise Kingdom, like all about it. Like some of the more recent, like I was like, wow, maybe I'm not in the mood. It's kind of like when you pick up that book and you're like, I know this is good writing. I know it's really good, but I just not in the mood for this. I just want to laugh or I just want to feel this or yeah. So sometimes I'm just not in the mood.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
mean,
it's not hitting.
they are, Wes Anderson makes it hard to fall into the story because
Mhm.
it platforms the artifice so much.
Yeah.
So you sort of watch yourself watching it, you're a little bit
Mm,
at arm's length all the
okay.
time.
Okay.
And that's fine. Like it like there's some movies that are like that, and that's okay. But yeah, sometimes it's more effective than others.
Is like your movie theater experience kind of your escape from the world? Because you've always gone to the movies and things like that. I've always heard about this, but like especially right now, obviously your FML is kind of that I don't want to say love letter, but it's kind of that outlet. I feel like there's all these things
Yeah.
that you're the coping mechanisms and whatnot, but like for you going to the movies, does it provide the escape? I mean, I guess if it's a good film, it does.
No, and interestingly, no. Like I would say that for Matt, 100%. Matt loves movies, loves going to the movies.
Okay.
I most often there's something I'd rather do.
Oh,
Um,
really? Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Like such
Uh,
as
I mean, if I'm gonna go out with people, I would like to be able to go out with people and have a conversation with them,
right.
you know?
This is definitely the difference between you and Matt. I
Yeah,
think he's like just being here is enough. We don't have to have a full
yeah.
conversation for hours. Yes.
And then and I always have I'm far more social than my husband is, generally speaking. But
Hmm.
that said, what I am most often hurting for these days is time to myself. So, given you have a free block of time, what I really would love to do is go downstairs and listen to podcasts and sew, you
Hmm.
know.
I was gonna say, I bet it's sewing because you're always getting
Yeah.
these cool things.
Yes,
Yeah.
sewing
It's like
or my
therapeutic.
happy place is Goodwill. So when I would come home from a business trip and I would be sort of exhausted and stressed, I would drop my bags off at home and say, I love you. I'm going to Goodwill. I'll be back in an hour and a half, and just go walk around Goodwill and look at things and imagine what I would do with them if I had more time.
Has it changed a lot over the years since you clearly are a regular and you kind of it's the same vibe?
Goodwill?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gotten it used to be, and I don't know if this is true or not actually,
Okay.
but it
Okay.
seems it seems like some of the pricing has gotten weird
Okay.
now.
Okay.
But there's
Well, because
also,
it could be like there was a period it was trendy, right? And so maybe they
yeah,
like took advantage of those moments, of pockets of moments where it was like super trendy to be getting things there or something.
yeah. Although I think the thing that's there's so many resellers now, right?
Mm,
Like people that go scour Goodwill for, I mean, they're curators. They are offering a service.
hmm.
But so I think what happens is like, somebody at Goodwill recognizes that, hey, there are people coming in looking for these things. And so that thing suddenly, like the price on it is like, that's not a Goodwill price. That's like a vintage shop price,
Right, right, right,
And
right.
I don't like to go to vintage shops because I'm not I don't really care whether it's an authentic whatever.
Okay. So that and so okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
then
I'm
it
just,
becomes, oh, this is a designer, blah, 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 blah. And that's in a vintage shop. Whereas Goodwill, these pieces maybe have their own little story to them, or they're just like random things. And you kind of have,
yeah.
but don't you have to like look through? See, I don't shop at all. Like I've never been a shopper. I could never go with my friends who like, I want to look through every piece to find that sale
Uh,
item or whatever. And I'm like, oh, no, I can't do it.
oh, I love it. I love,
I can tell, but you
I
always find the
have a,
treasure. That's why you find the treasures and you have all this cool stuff.
I
I've been to your
go,
house.
I go and I start with housewares and I go
Okay.
every aisle
Wow.
and and then the clothes are harder for me
Hmm.
because I have to fight
Fit. Yeah.
my instinct to buy like that's a really nice piece, and but it'd be like, and that's only $7. And like, yes, it's a really nice piece that's only $7 that you don't need, you know?
I see. I see.
Like
Okay.
I bought the other day I was there and I bought I think it was $12, a vintage Millie jacket that was in pristine condition and it had the old Millie logo on it. And this one I was like, you will never wear this. And, but it was so nice that I was like, you know what? Just grab it and see if somebody that would wear it. I brought it home. My friend that I grew up with, Amity, was here, and I was like, Am, would you wear this? And she was like, No, but my sister would. And I was like, Please give this to your sister. I just want it to,
Oh, you wanted
and
to bring joy to someone.
yeah, it was a beautiful, it was like a like Chanel jacket inspired, like
Oh, okay.
a woven
Nice.
tweed,
Yeah.
really nicely constructed. $12, beautiful condition, smelled great, Um, so it's just like this has to come home with me, but I know I'm never going to wear that, you know? Um, so that's the trouble I'll have with clothes is like, no, my closet, I just had to do a big closet purge. I'm not
A
even done with
purge.
it.
Oh my gosh.
Um, but you get to this point where I'm going to interrupt this sentence for the third time. Um, I had this realization when I was pregnant and when I was in my second trimester and it was huge and with Henry the first time and there was a very limited number of pieces. We couldn't afford for me to just go out and buy a whole new wardrobe, and you didn't have these rental services now, which I think are brilliant. So I couldn't like rent a maternity wardrobe. And so I was trying to piece together a maternity wardrobe from pieces I already had that would still kind of work, plus a couple
Right.
that I could afford to buy, plus ones that I could find secondhand, right? So I ended up having like a very well curated small closet because I had to make it work, right? And I needed everything to kind of go together. And it was interesting to me that it was easier for me to get dressed with fewer pieces than it was with this giant wardrobe of choices. I mean, it makes perfect sense, but somehow it was also anti-intuitive to me.
Hmm.
Um, uh, it always seemed to me like more choices would be better. And actually, more choices is not better.
Less is more. Less is more
Yeah, and like,
sometimes.
it made it like I need to go through my jewelry right now because I have tons and tons and tons of costume jewelry and things that like belonged to different members of my family. And I have so many options that they're not well sorted. And I end up wearing the same two or three pieces all the time. And like, so why am I storing all of this? So it like I need to go through it and pull out a select few and then just like either get rid of or put the other stuff away so
So a
that
lot of organizing is coming in through this fall for
yes,
Kelly
yes,
Sue. You've got a lot
yeah,
of organizing to do. That does
yeah.
not sound like fun for me, but definitely
Oh no,
I
it's
feel
my
like
jam.
I
It's
feel like every time I do something like that, it takes so long because I'll be like, oh, and look at this.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
Oscar, did you know there's like this is what happened when I got this? And it's like
Right,
it just
right.
cannot be. And he's just a purger. Like he will go in and just be like, I'm gonna throw everything away, not even look through it. I'm like, wait, wait, wait. So I can't take it on because
Yeah,
I know how long it's gonna be. So I was like, no,
yeah.
I can't do this. So yeah, it's very opposite in that way. But I can see like, but your house is so like neat and put together. Like, where do you have all of these things? Like, I don't see stuff around. Like, it's
Well, I
just
mean,
kind of amazing.
it feels to me like there's stuff all around, but
Mm. I mean, there are some gigantic things like that.
yeah. But I mean, I do
But
I do enjoy an editing process.
okay, of course
Yeah.
you do. Of course you do. I see this carries over into many facets of your
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
um,
And like being like, I loved this thing, it delighted me, and now it's time to let someone else
Okay, like
love it.
you like have some
Yeah.
okay, all right. Yes, very like what is it, the Marie Kondo, like, okay,
Yeah,
thank you
yeah.
for bringing me joy. Now you can move on. I appreciate you. And but it is nice when, like you said, you can pay it forward to somebody else that will then it makes you feel happier versus just giving it away to Goodwill, which I guess does go to someone eventually, but
Yeah.
it's nicer when
So
you
I mean,
know.
I do put an inordinate amount of thought into where things are going to go because I know so much of what goes to Goodwill ends up in landfills or
Oh, okay. I didn't realize.
so.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So I mean, I do definitely send stuff to Goodwill, but I also try to pass things on and or make and sometimes it's dumb because it's just like the amount of you just need to get it out of the house and you don't have a lot of spare time and the amount of time that I'll take being like, do you want this? Do you want this? And like, no pressure. You don't have to want it. Like, I'm not, my feelings are
I
not hurt if you
I
don't
love
want it.
this. I love all of this.
Yeah.
um, so it's been a few months, but the last time I spoke to Gene Ha, he was like, "So when's the next Historia reunion?" I'm like, "Oh, that's
Oh,
not definitely not up to me." I was like, even though I've inserted myself into this group that I have no contribution to in any
you did
way,
not
but
insert yourself. You were invited.
he
Yes.
was like, "Pajama party." I was like,
Oh my
"Okay."
gosh. Are you kidding? I'm so in. Can you imagine Gene Ha's pajamas? I bet he
I,
has the most beautiful
I
pajamas.
bet a very put together, like, and multiple sets of matching different
Yes.
kinds. Yeah. So he was like, we have a pajama party where we're all eating our junk food of choice on a couch, and then we could do a gigantic
Um,
thing and do a podcast like that. I was like, okay, Gene, we'll
okay.
pitch this.
All right.
So I said, next time I talk to Kelly Sue, I'll bring it up and then we'll find a date.
Yes. I'm there. Oh my gosh. And now I'm getting everyone's pajamas in my head. Like Phil's pajamas are unbuttoned down to his belly button. Yeah.
Obviously. I mean, we've
Yeah.
kind of all seen Phil's pajamas if you follow him on Instagram.
Oh, I love him so much.
Me too. Oh my God. Yeah.
Um,
So, yeah, but he had asked about that. And actually, I think when we spoke, it was like the first issue of FML came out and he's like, have you read it yet? I'm like, not yet. And he's like, it's fabulous. And
Oh,
just, of course, rave, rave, rave. And clearly that's going well too. And we only have a few more minutes. So I don't know if you want to
my
talk
gosh, I
about
spent
FML.
all of our time talking about movies and shopping. Oh
Yeah,
well,
that's fine.
that's
That's what
fine.
this is. But we
Yeah.
will remind people to go out and pre-order and order and do all the things
Yeah,
for
yeah.
your comics and link all that. They can read all that. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone knows what you're doing, but
Yes.
what if you want to share anything, feel free.
I have a big project right now that it's taking up a ton of my time, but I'm not in a position to talk about it yet,
Well,
unfortunately.
last time we spoke, it was before your Vegas show, and you're like, I can't talk about it on air yet. It was like
Oh,
so
is that
funny. It was,
true?
yeah,
Oh,
I was like, I've got a
wow.
big project I'm working on. I'm like, oh God. Now I'm thinking, oh no, now what? Like, you need to take
Okay.
a
This was
break.
not a Vegas show, but it is also a large
A
scale
large
thing.
scale thing. Of course it is, because
Um,
that's Kelly Sue.
but I'm super into it and having fun. But I'm also wrapping up the first arc of FML, which
Hmm.
I'm incredibly proud of. I'm having a wonderful time with David on that.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, and it's for anybody who doesn't know, it's you think I've been doing this book for like a year. You would think I would be able to,
Metal, teenagers, monster
yeah,
movies.
it's a surreal comedy that is set in Portland during a time of upheaval and global pandemic
Hmm.
and
So now?
hmm, yes. And it goes back and forth from the perspective of the adults and the perspective of the teenagers. And the mom, the first arc is focused on the mom and the son. The mom was a 90s riot girl, and the son is a heavy metal kid. And both of them use their mom is she used to have a zine when she was a riot girl, so and she's a cartoonist in as an adult, and she uses her cartooning to kind of help her manage her anxiety and reflect on her life. And the son uses his like heavy metal drawings as a way of managing his anxiety. But it's a book where I'm trying to capture not the reality of what we're going through, but what I'm describing as like the wind chill. So it's not what it really is, it's what it feels like.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, adolescence, he wakes up in the body of a hairy monster. So it's just kind of made literal, and things are falling out of the sky, and it's real crazy, and we use a lot of different styles. So we borrowed from manga the idea of the chibi.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
we don't in the script these characters they're referred to as Chibi Mom and Chibi Riley, but they're not drawn like Chibi. But there are these there's the objective story style, and
Hmm.
then when the mother or the son comments on the story or addresses the reader directly, it's done in their art style, and that's referred to in the script as Chibi Mom and Chibi Riley. And that comes from my days of working in manga adaptation.
Yeah.
And
We'll have to talk about that more in depth one day. And
yeah,
as well as what was the other thing? James Bond.
there you go.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, I
Well,
have I have absolute love-hate relationship with James Bond.
clearly.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go through each iteration of it and see where it
Oh,
takes
oh,
us. Oh my gosh. Maybe we'll save it for the pajama party and
there
it'll
you
be like no
go.
Wonder Woman talk, or we'll just talk
Yeah.
about like random crazy things. And yeah, every time I get a chance to talk to you all. And then I saw, and I've got to wrap up soon, but I saw Nicola in Australia. We had
Oh,
she made this wonderful brunch for us,
oh
and
my
we got
God.
to spend so much time. And then Greg was there too, and so we had a podcast on there. I actually got to see the comic before it released, so because now it's out. Of course, Cheetah and Cheshire robs the Justice League, but it was
Oh,
like she was doing all the panels, and it was so cool to see it kind of, and just seeing her and everything it
she's
was
so
fantastic.
amazing. And she and Greg like just mesh.
Yes, yes, yes.
Like
They really work
it's
well together. Yeah, they
really
really do. So
lovely.
it was so cool. It was so cool. So, I get, and it's just been nice. It's been nice to be able to kind of keep up with everybody and then occasionally
Yeah,
see you all in the chat, and and thank you for keeping me on the invite list. I
of
appreciate it.
course. Of
But
course.
yeah, this has been great. And
Oh wait,
even
and
since the last time.
keeping it all in the family. This is adorable. Andrea Shea, who
Yeah.
was one of our editors on
Hmm.
Historia. I think this is public. I'm just realizing as I'm saying this.
I can also cut it if not.
We should maybe double check, but her husband is Matt's Batman editor.
Oh, okay.
But Matt and Rob work really beautifully together. And in fact,
Nice.
and I know you need to go, but
Yeah.
when Matt said he was going to do Batman, I was like, oh, that's a terrible idea. And it was because, not because I didn't think that he would do a good job,
Right.
but because historically, when the more high profile the book is, the harder it is on him.
Yes. Yes, I can
And
see
that's
that.
usually because there's more people nervous about what's going to happen
Yeah.
and not trusting him and and he has such a unique perspective. They don't
Mm-hmm.
really know where he's going, and so they're
Yes.
always like, "Nah," and the beauty of this is Marie and Rob trust Matt, and they've
Mm-hmm.
just been able to let Matt and Jorge do their thing
That's awesome. Yeah, that's
and
amazing.
support
I know,
them
that's on my
and
list too.
give them editing and give them guidance and everything, but not in it.
Micromanaging and
Right.
yeah, on top of yeah. I mean, I don't understand why creators like you guys at your caliber are getting any ever doubt, right? Like it's just it surprises me so much. I'm like, what the hell are they looking for? I mean, you guys have
Yeah.
fucking proved yourself so much. Like, how many things do you want? And it's not about the awards, but of course you all keep winning awards too. But like, I'm always like, really? Like,
Yeah.
who's
I mean,
questioning this?
they're nervous about their jobs and I
Yeah,
get it. And
of
like,
course.
I don't, but, it is that kind of environment is exactly the opposite of what Matt needs. And like the reason that Hawkeye and Jimmy were able to be what Hawkeye and Jimmy were was
Hmm.
because it was like, oh, it's Hawkeye and Jimmy Olsen. That, those are
Yeah,
not,
he didn't feel that pressure
yeah.
because
And
of the
so
character. But yeah, but Batman's Batman and Superman's
people
Superman and yeah.
let him be him,
Yes,
and he
yes.
was able to, to make this amazing work. And so
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they're not gonna, Batman is ground zero. They're not gonna leave you alone to do what you want to
Yeah.
do on Batman, but they have. And
Amazing.
yeah,
Well,
and
that's
it's been
fantastic.
terrific.
I will warn him. I will be reaching
All
out. I
right.
have got to catch up with everybody now. Now you guys are all on them. Like my life is kind of redirecting, and so I was like, I need to catch up with everybody just to see you all,
All right.
And obviously we'll promote all your stuff and link everything here. But it's
Okay.
always amazing to see you, Kelly Sue.
Yay.
Thanks
This
for spending
episode
time with
sponsored
me.
by Goodwill.
Yes. All right. Until next time. That's all for today's episode. Thanks for listening to the Sifu Mimi Chan Show. Please subscribe and rate my podcast on your platform of choice and leave a review. You can become a patron of the show at patreon.com/SifuMimiChan to help keep this podcast going. Follow me and interact on social media at Sifu Mimi Chan on Instagram or Facebook.